Hi there, education fans. You know me. I'm Sieva Kaczynski, founder of Study Soup, where we're passionate about education. We're bringing you educators and influencers so that you can stay ahead in the space. Today, our guest is Principal Eric Sheninger, author of Digital Leadership, Changing Paradigms for Changing Times. Eric is the award-winning principal at New Milford High School, located in Bergen County, New Jersey. His work focuses on leading and learning in the digital age as a model for moving schools and districts forward. To top all that off, Eric was recently the recipient of the prestigious BAMI Award in 2013. Thank you for joining us, Eric.
Thank you very much for having me.
So let's jump right into it. How has learning changed in the digital age?
It has changed so much. I think most importantly, we now, whether you're adults or students, we can learn anytime, anywhere, from anyone at any given moment in time. We can follow our learning passions. We can differentiate the process to our individualized and personalized needs. We can not only curate knowledge and resources, we can construct new knowledge out in the open transparently. When we look at it as school, the learning has changed so much because now we can share, ubiquitously, in a sense, what our students are learning each and every day through free tools that are available. So, I think the biggest thing is because of connectivity and the evolution of the real-time web as we know it, it allows students to communicate, collaborate, and create in spaces like never before. I'm a firm believer that learning today it's such an exciting time because we're no longer confined to these silos of information or isolated islands. And just like we are Skyping today, we are having our learners and educators are connecting with people all over the world that share a common interest, and that's helping kids succeed.
So your book on digital leadership, first of all, maybe define what digital leadership is for us and tell us what are some of the highlights of the book, or what are some of the things teachers should pay attention to?
Yeah, digital leadership is a change in mindset, behaviors, and skills where technology is used to enhance our professional practice. It's really about, forming these relationships with people, accessing information, and anticipating the needed changes before we actually have to make them. So, I look at digital leadership as a call to action, a bold form of leadership to move from sustainable change to transformation, to create cultures of teaching and learning that our students find relevant, meaningful, and applicable. It's about creating this culture that enhances and cultivates essential skill sets that are in demand in today's global economy, such as communication, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving, digital citizenship, media literacy, entrepreneurship. I can go on and on. If our students are leaving school with that foundation and they're coming into a school that reflects or is a mirror of the world that we're sending them into, that is going to be the barometer of success because our students will be able to compete in this world and have the skills that they need. So, in my book that I wrote, it really is a culmination of my work the past 5 to 6 years in social spaces. I was the principal that I was very traditional, and I did not believe in social media. I did not believe in devices. I really thought that all of this not only was a hindrance to the teaching and learning process, but there were safety issues, and there was no way that I could use it to become a better leader and learner. It wasn't until I became educated on how social media and other forms of technology could become a natural fit into the characteristics or these essential leadership practices that I have to do on a daily basis. So, if I were to put it on a nice perspective of what digital leadership really is, it's about looking at what we do as leaders each and every day and figuring out ways of how we can do what we do better. So I've broken, the main component of my book focuses on the 7 pillars of digital leadership. And when I look at these 7 pillars, these are things that I do each and every day. I have to be good at these things. And the 7 pillars are communication, public relations, branding, professional learning and development, student engagement and learning, learning environments and spaces, and opportunity. All the pillars are interconnected. And when we find that natural fit for how technology can help us become better in those areas, we form better connections with our stakeholders. We set the stage for more authentic learning. And when we share our stories, we really bring about a lot of opportunities here in my school or any others.
So, Eric, we're looking at it from a 3,000-foot point of view. A lot of awesome things going on. Boil it down for us. How? How did teachers start doing this? How did you start doing this? Walk us through the first week, the first month of your maybe aha moment as you describe it. I'd love to hear it. I know our educators would love to as well.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that sticks with me the most in terms of this journey is that I've learned about my digital footprint, and I've also learned the hard way that I can never escape my digital footprint. I was on a reality TV show many, many years ago called The Principal's Office, which ran nationally on True TV. And in that show, it shows me taking kids' devices, lambasting social media, being like the complete opposite I am today. So my aha moment came in March 2009 when I was reading my local paper on a Sunday, and it was an article about Twitter. Now, I was not on any social media tool. I really felt that, hey, I'm a principal. I don't have time to tweet. I don't have time to Facebook. All this garbage, I don't have time. I am too busy. The one thing I've learned that education is great for one thing, and that's making excuses for not moving forward. And that was me. Well, I read this article, and I'm going stupid, stupid, stupid. But I get to the end of it, and the light bulb went on. I'm like, wow, I could use this free tool to communicate better with my stakeholders. That's the only reason I went down this path. I wanted to be a much more effective communicator. I wanted to meet my stakeholders where they were at, which was in social spaces. So I'm tweeting for a couple weeks, months, just communicating information about the school. And what happened was I found myself being very creepy. I lurked, and while I was lurking, I was learning. And the blindfold came off. I became educated. The aha moment was there's this whole new world that I never knew existed. I never knew there were these free tools. I never knew I could connect with these educators. I never knew I could get resources, support, strategies, ideas at the snap of my fingers. So my behavior changed from communicator to learner. And that was the doorway that, when I walked through it, changed my professional life forever. And it's at that point in time, that was the catalyst. It was that catalyst where I became connected with people all over the world that pushed my thinking and gave me some of the best ideas to help improve New Milford High School.
So that happened on a personal level. Talk to us how that connected to your school, because for you it's a school-wide movement now, and how can we implement change in our schools to align with this digital age?
Yeah, and I think, and that's one of the unique aspects of my book is, when people think leadership, they think that it's just about, principals, superintendents. No, we all have the capacity to lead. It's, are we each willing to take action in our respective roles to be the change that we wish to see in education? So, I think for us here, the key was modeling. When we began this transformation, I modeled the expectations that I had for my staff. I rolled my sleeves up. I worked with them on how to integrate these tools. So modeling was the number one key.
Sorry, let me interrupt you there just for a second. Name a few of those expectations just so I have a clear idea of the details there.
I'm sorry, the expectations of
your teachers. You modeled the expectations for your teachers. What were a few of those? Just give us some examples.
Yeah, basically providing them a vision and a plan for how we were going to use these tools to enhance learning. We focus on, if we're going to use a specific social media tool, what is going to be the learning outcome? So the expectations were really, how is it connected to learning? How is it going to enhance this experience for our students? And how can they use these tools to create artifacts that demonstrate conceptual mastery? So it really became down to providing trainings for teachers and showing them where the pedagogical fit was to use these tools. Well, that expanded because now we have coaches, advisors using tools to communicate for their own public relations. So next to modeling, it was support. And as the building leader, I had the power to provide my staff with the support they needed. Support in the form of technology, professional development, and time. We started with a core group of teachers 4 years ago. There were 5 of them and me. I told them I will give you whatever you need to be successful. There are no excuses. We're only going to focus on solutions. That sort of vanguard group of 5 has now spread to basically the entire staff. Everyone is now drinking the Kool-Aid willingly. There is not one mandate or directive to use technology here. It is a choice. And teachers are now making the choice to incorporate digital learning to make the experience more relevant, meaningful, and applicable to our students. They are giving students true ownership over the learning process, and that is the key to sustainable change. When students can construct new knowledge and showcase their learning transparently. And I'm proud to say each and every day, I don't even know half the things going on in my school right now because we believe in empowering teachers through autonomy. And when they're given autonomy, they're more prone to take calculated risks to innovate. We do not fear failure here. We don't truly fail in life. We find out what doesn't work. And that is the mentality that we have here at New Milford High School when it comes to digital learning.
So you had this aha moment, a personal transformation, and then you connected to your school and you kind of spread it into 5 or 6 different people. You did a model, and now it's just spread throughout your school. You sound like a bit of a prophet, at least from my perspective. It's very cool. You had an aha moment, you spread it to the people.
I think I've moved from prophet to evangelist.
Evangelist, that's great. I love that word. We're going to use that. How do you suggest other educators harness the power of these new digital tools to enhance their leadership practices?
The easiest way is to lurk and learn like I did, to engage in digital spaces. I think with education, for it to really stick and become embedded in professional practice and school culture, you need to find value in it. You will not find value if you are not willing to make the time and invest a little bit to get on Twitter, use Google+, join digital discussion forums, lurk and learn, because what you will find is it actually saves time and makes your life easier. Because when I look at the concept of a personal learning network, that is the fuel that drives me. I have a human-powered search engine at my disposal anytime I need it. I know where to get what I want, but more importantly, I now use digital tools to funnel information to me 24/7. I encourage educators to, dabble in finding what tools work to enhance their professional learning. And then do what I do. All I do is use social media tools to connect myself to the smart people. And when I have all these smart people willing to help me become a better principal, I'm actually spending less time and effort to come up with new ideas. I'm taking tried and proven strategies that have been successful, and I'm implementing them in New Milford in ways that meet the needs of my diverse students. And that's the beauty of it. You can learn when it's convenient for you. You can read what you want. You could learn about flipped instruction. You could learn about maker spaces. I mean, the sky is the limit, but you have to give it a chance. You have to be patient, and you have to understand it's not about how many people follow you on social media. It's about the quality of people that you connect and ultimately learn with. That will be the driving force of change in your classroom, your school, your district, or your community.
So what are some of these tools that you would suggest? You just talked about Twitter and Google+, I think. What are some of the other things that educators should have in their tool bag?
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty of learning in connected spaces is that different tools work for different people. I love Twitter, but I'm not going to push Twitter on someone as a foundational component of your personal learning network. So whether it be Twitter, digital discussion forums, I love EdWeb. EdWeb is a free digital discussion platform. They have live webinars, they have on-demand webinars, discussion forums, and it's all free. Shameless plug, I host a Leadership 3.0 community on EdWeb, and you can follow along with digital leaders that, like myself, that are doing it, practitioners that are modeling, that are finding success, that are changing schools for the better. Pinterest is an amazing tool to curate resources. I'm also a huge fan of tablet apps such as Zeit and Pulse that I can create my own customized magazines or newspapers. And then when I go on it, it's customized for my learning needs and my interests. I mean, there's so many other tools. There's the Educators PLN, which is a Ning site. There's ASCD Edge, which is another digital discussion forum. You can join different communities in Google+. You can do Google Hangouts, video conferences with multiple people. There are so many. LinkedIn, I mean,
Awesome
there are just so many. It's just about find what works for you. And don't let anyone ever tell you that you must use a tool or you must follow a certain person. It's all about you, which is what makes it so powerful.
Seems like there's a lot of options. Pinterest is an interesting one that I've never heard of. EdWeb, definitely follow Eric. You must follow Eric on Twitter at NMHS_principal. That's his Twitter feed. A lot of interesting stuff coming up there. By the way, you, Eric, have a really big virtual footprint. I noticed you have a blog, you have a website, you have a really strong presence, which is awesome. It's great to be able to learn from somebody like that.
Yeah, you know, I learned from a phrase from one of my friends that I follow on Twitter, David Britton, about leading out loud. And there isn't a better way to lead out loud than leading transparently and having a positive digital footprint that showcases the great work that you're doing at your school and your professional interests and aspirations. And, you know, I think Digital Leadership, the book, provides that guide for anyone, regardless of their regardless of their level, knowledge base, to either begin a journey, enhance their journey, or take where they're at to brand new levels.
Great. Well, what you're doing is really inspirational, Eric. I really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.